Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Humble Climb podcast, episode 3. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and continue to like, comment, subscribe, and that is how we grow, and we continue to bring you real stories from real people. Now, today's a pretty big one, and I thought nothing might be able to not top any other episodes that we've had, but this guy's probably the biggest hype man in Melbourne, a ball of energy, the founder and director of Pulse8 Centre, which is the biggest gym community in Melbourne. He is one of a kind. He's special. I've seen him at 9:15 this morning, and the bloke's buzzing. And it's pretty standard of him. He's a wedding MC where he did one of my mates' weddings, and more recently, a wedding celebrant, I believe, as well. He's done it all, and he's an incoming DILF. And that's big. And that is big. Ladies and gentlemen, enough said. Josh Holdsworth, welcome to the Humble Climb podcast.
Dimmy, you little beauty, mate. Episode 3. Thank you very much for having me on the show. This is special.
This guy's built for radio. He's built for TV, and he's created one of the biggest not podcasts, sorry, that's me.
No, this is the Humble Climb is the biggest podcast.
It's getting up there, mate. It's getting up there. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, guys.
Yeah, get around it.
And he has created one of the biggest gym communities in Melbourne. Funny story of how I met Josh was I met him through a couple of mates, and I used to get personal trained by his best mate, Jay, who has now gone on to do Adventure Lockers. Follow them on Instagram. And I was getting personal trained by Jay for a period of time. We always used to organise these 6 a.m. sessions, and I kept...
Wasn't it 5 a.m. or something?
Yeah, so it was 5:30, 6, like way too early for me.
All the good times.
I was always really good at always saying, yeah, mate, I'll be there. And then it got to, say, 5:55 in the morning, and I was like, no chance of my making this session. And absolutely no chance of me rocking up. And Josh would always be like, mate, can you just message him back? Just message Jay back and just give him some love, mate. He's not sure if you're angry at him or not. And I said, mate, I'm just embarrassed I slept in. And I used that excuse about 10 times. So I finally brought him on, and I said to Jossie, I want to hear your story. I love what you've done with Pulsate. Mate, welcome.
Thank you very, very much, mate. I tell you what, it's episode 3. Let's go for an absolute bang.
It's a pretty big one, and I one of the big ones for me is, as we've always said, and we're talking off air, that I'm not interested in just having your Kylie Jenners of the world. Even though Kylie, I'm looking at you in the camera now. If you want to come onto the Humble Climb, feel free. I won't say no.
Yeah, I can shoot her a DM. She'll jump straight on, mate.
She'll be all over it. So I wanted to bring you on because I love what you've done. And now, personally, of course, I know I've had my in and out moments with Pulsate, and we know that. I'm always welcome. I know that.
Mate, VIP.
Yeah, so I know that. But I don't personally attend there. I've got plenty of friends that do, but I do fly in and fly out, so I'm a bit like a miner. And I love what you've done with Pulsate. You've built one of the biggest things. I was doing some research, not that you had to do much. And one of the biggest things as a review was consistently coming across is he has built a community. He has built a family. He has built a non-judgmental environment, which is probably the biggest thing someone needs when going to a gym. I mean, I know myself, I've tried a few of them.
Yeah.
Am I right? And at the moment I'm going through my hypoxia phase, which is, it was just doing wonders for me actually, so feel free. But mate, it's the biggest thing that you've created.
Yeah, I think the fitness industry is one of the hardest things to build, especially when you make your own brand, because no one knows what it is, so you have to start from the absolute scratch of, getting to know the local community and see what works and what doesn't work. And that's taken about 6 years to take off from there.
You couldn't have probably asked for a better location here in Unit 1617 993 North Road, Murrumbeena, by the way.
Whoa.
It's one of the biggest communities. You see the guy at 5 a.m., 4:43 in the morning. I've seen he's down at Duncan McKinnon training people. It is an incredible, incredible environment. One of our good mates, Simon Weller, comes here and he's like, mate, get down. I said, mate, I'll get down eventually.
I've turned that guy into an absolute machine
100%,
too. And I train his beautiful wife as well, Jess.
Yeah, Jess is awesome.
But that's just because, we want, I want everyone there. I want the whole family there. What I think it's really important, I'm going to use the Wellers as an example, is that I trained Simon, and now I train the wife, but I actually invite the kids in too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So it's a family vibe, So when they train with me, at 7 a.m., guess what? The kids are there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Xavier and Grace, that's their children, are joining in the sessions, which is, I think it's quite important that the kids see you guys train because you lead by example. Because I don't reckon, I can say from experience, I didn't see my parents train. And it sets that standard of this is normal. Training should be normal in everyday life.
I remember you were working at the Woodshed on Nepean Highway there.
Yep.
And obviously a good mate of yours is Sam Wood. How do you go from, obviously you're working with a good mate and then you go, fuck, I reckon I can build something similar to this. Was it hard to differentiate between, Sammy, I want to leave you and I'll go create my own thing, but I also don't want to disrupt a friendship? Did you cross that path?
It was a very challenging time in my life because it was a funny period. I'll never forget when Big Woody told me he was going to go on the show. He got the call up to be the Bachelor, which back in those days, to be the Bachelor was it was the biggest thing for, for your love life, obviously, but, for your career as well. So whatever you do, it's going to skyrocket. So he went on the show and we had another gym called Pro Health Club, which is around the corner in Hampton. And I was sort of, probably one of the busier PTs there. And he goes, mate, can you look after this place? If you, show that you can do this, let's do a gym together called the Woodshed. I've gone, done. So when he was on the show, it took about 8 months. I was called Pro Health Club, and then I was building the Woodshed at the same time behind the scenes. So I was doing all that behind the scenes whilst he was on the show, killing it. And he was one of the best bachelors, obviously, in my opinion, that was so successful, one of the best blokes to be on the show that's done so well. With everything he's doing. So we built the Woodshed, and sort of I learned how to do it. I was sort of running it myself at the age of 24, and I sort of put all my life on the side, and I said, I'm just going to go head first and give this a crack because this is going to blow up.
Yeah.
And it did. We were getting so many members in the door, but it had, I just wanted to think far out, like I could probably do this myself because I sort of didn't do most of it, but I got a lot of people in the building, and I was the front man. But I wanted to do my own thing, and I believe that I could just skyrocket from just learning from the best and taking that challenge on. But the conversation when I had to sit down and say, mate, I want to do my own thing was probably one of the hardest things. And I don't ever think, fuck, I wish I won't, this is a pretty big conversation out here, so I have to go through it properly. So I remember sitting down with him. I went in there, and it was one of the hardest conversations I ever had because one of my best mates, a bloke I look up to, and it wasn't like I knew I could do it, but like it's obviously not a lot of belief sometimes because he backed himself in. He had the show up his sleeve, he had all these things, and I was just this guy, a local bloke from the area that sort of backed himself in for having a crack, and thank God it has worked out.
That was one of the biggest things that I've always wondered, that because it's a lot of people struggle to separate friendship from business.
Yeah.
And one thing that I know about you is you're not a greedy person, as in financially.
No.
You're not interested in driving the nicest cars and wearing the latest Gucci top.
No. It's
more about giving back to people. I guess Sam goes and does his thing. You and Jay come out and do, obviously, Pulsate. Does it kick off immediately?
Mate, I made that many fucking mistakes. It was a slow build. I signed a 50 grand bloody building.
Yeah.
I had a strong PT behind me, but my PT money was to live plus to pay rent. It took a year to get 100 members, but I don't know how to do tax. I don't know how to do any accounting. I can't count past 10. So there I'm sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ. But like we're doing all right, but like you have to remember you have to buy new equipment. You have to upgrade. It's one of the hardest industries. You get a gym next door that F45 was kicking off when I started Pulse8. I'm like thinking, oh shit. But I always believed that I could be the best because I gave a fuck. That's the only thing I knew I could beat them with, that I wasn't going to watch a fucking TV screen, nothing against what they do, a TV screen. I was just going to give them my energy, my attention, and everything I had to be the best. That's all I could do.
Did you find it all at the start that when you created the Pulsate, and obviously you're not really in competition to the Woodshed because you're in opposite demographics as well. So I guess that's more of your bay side.
Yep.
This is more of your community suburban.
Yep.
From a friendship point of view, does your friendship get stronger with Sam ever that because you're both doing well?
Well, I don't believe in competition in the fitness industry. I believe that we all should all work together, which is not the fucking case at all. Everyone just, copies and bad mouths. It's actually a pretty nasty industry to be in. So I like to work with other gyms. Like, for instance, I've got a mate that I send people to the Woodshed as well because they have a great creche. And I say, Woody, this person's got a baby, they need to be looked after, bang. And then I've got another mate called The Hunt, Eddie Espinosa, fantastic gym in St Kilda. If they live close to them, I handball them to them because I know they're going to get looked after there. And that's what they do to me too. You know what I mean? That's what we should do everywhere because at the end of the day, health and fitness is obviously you want your body to feel good, but up here, your mental health is key. So fuck, let's work together instead of playing against each other, I think.
You also, I think, have a big, and I've obviously seen what you guys have done with your block parties, and your Murrumbina parties, where you're getting involved the local businesses as well, like the Conductor Barbershop. I think it is one of them, Murrumbina Wines.
Yeah. So we opened up a block party. I've always had this in my head. This is what I want to do. I want to lock down a street and throw a party. Not like drinking and stuff. But I want to like close down a street, like kids, rides, bring everyone together and meet the local community more and get all the businesses working together. That's what I want to do with this block party. I'm mates with the Conductor boys. I'm mates with the Murrumbina Wine Bar, and we opened it all up and we threw a party to get around, to get everyone together and to get to learn the area. So there's a wine bar there, guys. Don't go to usual places in the city and stuff. Use local community because they're the ones you'll be looked after the most.
Did you emphasize that more with COVID and everything, or were you always sort of that community focused?
Always community focused because I think it's just great for everyone's businesses to look after each other. In COVID, though, it was very important because, the small business copped it the hardest. You know all about that, mate. And we copped it fucking hard too, but we just put the head over the ball and just fucking worked for free for 2 years and just give 100% and
head over the ball.
We just put the fucking head over the ball, mate. And just, I sacrificed everything to survive. And we luckily saw that, we saw through it. And a lot of other gyms didn't get to see that. They just put the hand out and asked for fucking money from the government and then closed up shop. See you later. So I didn't like to see that. But that just shows where your ticker is,
Jossman Holdsworth, he finishes year 12.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself where you are now?
Brother, I wanted to be, I didn't even know what I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be like a teacher, like a sports teacher.
Yeah, I could say that.
But then I sort of just...
Would you go primary or secondary?
Oh, mate, you know what? I would have gone secondary this time. I've seen all the primary kids.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, and you want to have a bit of a connection with them and,
Well, I sort of see, like, you can probably see you getting involved in like a year 8 soccer game or something.
Yeah, and get involved in it, push them over a bit.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that. And then... Mum goes, why don't you just do your PT course when you have a year off after school? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And then I did my PT course, which these days it's a fucking out of a cereal box. It's done in 3 months. I think there's no experience in it whatsoever. That's just my absolute opinion with it.
Love it.
And there's no experience and you just jump into it and then everyone wants $100 per hour. There's just, you need to earn,
It's so funny you say that. It's a bit like you build that trust with people.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is your biggest asset. How do you land up in the Woodshed? Because if you're not in the Woodshed, do you create this environment? Like, if you didn't start at the Woodshed, does Pulsate kick off?
Well, no, I did my cert 3 and 4, and back in those days, it was like a year and a half course, which is still not long enough if you ask me. But then I got a job where I was studying and I started learning a lot more. I do courses so I was there for about 2.5 years on Chapel Street called Acumodum, learned a lot from there. So knowledge really grew. And then I got approached. I met Sam out one night, had a few beers, and we kicked it off. And then we worked at a place called Pro Health and then went for Pro Health. And then we went to Woodshed and he's one of the best to do it. And now he's killing it with his online program called 28 by Sam Widge, which I'm lucky to be involved in too. And I learned a lot from the best. And I learned what he did and I learned that I could offer in different areas too.
You've almost diversed your business in a way now that you've got a very holistic approach where everything's almost in-house, which is amazing. And it's funny you say about getting other mates' businesses involved. I noticed you were doing you were not promoting, but you were working a line and you were aligned with Sam's 28 by Sam Wood, which I was like, mate, again, you just don't see other people promoting other people's businesses to that degree. Yeah. Now you've got myotherapy in there. You've got Brit. Was it Brit?
Yeah, Brit's in there. She's got her own fitness app as well, which is fantastic. So, but it's like, people have their dream. You gotta get around them. Like my dream was to do my own place and I didn't get some support that I wanted to, but that gave me the drive to say, fuck you, I'm going to do it. And here we are today. But I would have done even better and would have grew faster if, people are like your loved ones around you, got around you more. And I'm trying to lead by example in that way.
I find as people, that's one of the biggest things we do is that as soon as you see someone doing quite well, rather than cheering them on the sidelines, we can be the first people to be like, oh, mate, bring it back down to earth for some reason. Yeah. Did you experience that?
I didn't experience that now. I've experienced when I first started. I had a lot of doubters and people go, oh, yeah, this ain't going to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I back in those days, Instagram was really, really big. And I was like posting things. I'm like, no, I was sharing stuff. I'm like, guys, get around it a bit more. You know what I mean? Thank God I got a lot of people now that do it. But I think people will forget how powerful social media is and how you can get around your mates a lot more by sharing something. How hard is this to share something, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's the most powerful thing. And that's why I try to show that you should do, you know, that's just, it's little things like that make a big difference.
I
in the
sort
long
of
run.
found it as well. Is that when I first decided that I wanted to get into real estate,
Yep.
everyone was like, you know, not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, but I had a few people that were like, yeah, mate, go do it. Like, that's awesome. Like, you're a people person. And then a few people were like, oh, here we go. Just another thing Tim's going to try, like the gyms, right?
But I reckon, though, a lot of people do have a crack at real estate and don't.
100%.
I say a lot of PTs go into real estate the last 2 months and they come back to PT. But I can just see a passion when you do it.
Oh, it's
There's
awesome.
passion and you give a fuck about, you know, doing the best of people.
But that's the biggest thing that now I jump onto your Instagram and I see the not even just the off season, but I see the consistency where you get some of the best AFL players as an example coming down to Pulsate. So Toby Green, Tom Mitchell, Maxi Gawn, Jamara Ugle-Hagan.
Yeah, absolute weapon. He's going to be sensational this year. He's looking magnificent.
Mate, Rowan Marshall.
Yeah, big row.
You get these guys that are coming in, Braden Maynard, I can't forget, Bruz. You're getting these people that are coming in, working out. They're probably chucking the up at Pulsate on Instagram for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And it's not even because they're being paid to do it. It's because you're a good bloke, and that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Has that helped the business as well with stuff like that?
It gets your name out there. It doesn't get sign-ups though.
Yeah.
It just shows the level of care we give. It shows the knowledge we give to them. And it shows that fucking when they're in there, they're going to fucking train.
Yeah.
When I put them in the chamber, it's game on. We pump the tunes up. I put the heater on, get a high altitude, and I take them for the ride of their fucking life.
This is fucking amazing, man. This guy is incredible. This guy just gets me going, and I love it.
But I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
This is the biggest thing for you is, and I've seen it firsthand. So again, like, please, I stress, please follow Just Man Holdsworth on Instagram and Pulse8 Centre, because you will see it in the flesh. And this guy does not take the piss with this energy. You treat everyone the exact same way.
That's how it should be. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are.
Which is what we love. The word humble.
Yep.
What does that mean for you? Because if I had to describe you in one word, it would 1000% be that.
Humble to me, it's interesting. Good question. Is very good. Humble is giving 100%, putting your head down and getting everyone around you and lifting everyone up.
That almost is you to a T. Oh, what does a typical day look for Josh Holdsworth, and how do you maintain your energy? Because you're up at all hours of the morning.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even know, mate. Do you live local?
Yeah, McKinnon. It's not too far at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good real estate there.
Mate, beautiful real estate. It's in the McKinnon zone too.
Okay, so it looks like me and Simon Weller could be potentially.
I'll wax on, wax
all
off.
right, mate. Hey, Wellesley, we go 50-50.
So get up. Usually 4:40 I kick off at the gym, so I get up about 4 a.m. Get up, eat, get up, and then go straight to the gym, mate, and go hard for about till 10:30 a.m. Go home, recharge the batteries, mate. I'm off the piss at the moment. I've been off for a long time because Mrs. is pregnant, trying to support her. And yeah, bouncing into bed. And
are you sleeping in the arvo?
No, I used to have maybe a 5-minute nap, but I don't really like to. Sometimes you wake up hungover sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like you come off a bender, which we've all been there. And then back at 4 till about 7:30. So
I'm back from 4 to 7:30.
Yeah, so I do a double shift.
Yeah, no shit.
At my age, it's getting a little bit harder, but it's all about managing your time and managing your energy.
And so you go home, you rest for the arvo.
Yep.
Are you an early sleeper?
Yeah, mate. Bed, got to be bed by 9 and get straight back into it.
And then 4 a.m. you're bouncing.
Get ready to rock, boys. In there, and it's important when everyone walks in the building that you create the energy.
Yeah.
The gym's pumping, the tunes are on, they're walking in the door. I'm yelling at you. I'm name by name by name. That's what you get when you walk into Pulsate.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for you is obviously, I guess in a good way, food, taking care of yourself.
Yep.
And obviously your dog as well.
Yep, correct.
Who's one of the biggest lovers you love. Now, if you've ever seen Joss Man on Holdsworth, and if you see the amount of love and care that this dog gets, you can only imagine what it's going to be like that.
I know.
Like it's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's pretty big, and that's probably what half the excitement is. The other thing that I wanted to ask you, which is a really, really probably a decent question, where do you see Pulsate going into? I mean, would you ever branch into the franchising and all that, or no?
Look, it's a tricky one because I've just seen gyms do that and then you don't have that Pulsate vibe. You're like, oh, that one there's great, but that one there's not the same. Right. So it's tricky. Do you want to
like
go down that?
It's like the second, the second one's not as good as like My Big Fat Greek Wedding number 2's wasn't as good as number 1.
If I do 2, I'll be working between 2. That's my goal, to do 2. But I'm going to be working between 2.
And would you
giving that same energy and vibe?
Would you stay in the area?
No.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing. I feel like this one here is, this is southeast.
I got a very big radius here, which is great. I'd be go a different direction for sure.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Is it something that you've sort of thought about?
Yeah, I've got plans in action. Because of COVID, it put me back 2 years.
Yep.
Like fucking financially, like everything put me back big time with everything in my life, put me back. But that I would have had a second one already if that didn't fucking kick me.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. And again, like the while I loved you. I know I keep on saying it, but and again, sorry, Mum, for saying this word, but you put your balls on the line and you took a massive risk because, and then COVID happens. And you're pretty new and established when COVID happens as well.
Yeah, we're just starting to really make a name for ourselves because, we're a couple of young pricks having a crack at it. And and we didn't have money. So when you have money, you can buy the best equipment. We didn't have that. We had okay equipment, but we just had heart and
Did you go? And I'm always interested to know this, and it's probably maybe a bit personal, so tell me if it's not.
Whatever, I'm an open book, mate.
Did you speak to your parents about like a loan?
Yeah, so I actually when I told them I was doing this, they go, "How much is it?" And I lied. I made an absolute lie because I didn't want to tell them how much everything costs. I just said half of everything, and they go, "That's a great idea."
Yeah.
And then that's why when things started to work.
Because when you're young, that's what I think you got to do.
Yeah.
Like with all due respect, is that if someone's going to back you in, it's your parents.
Yeah, exactly.
I was speaking to one of my mates that's in the real estate industry as well, and he migrant parents, of course. So, but when he wanted to open up his office, he goes, "Fuck!" He goes, "I've got to go and speak to the old man."
Yeah.
And he goes and speaks to his old man. He goes, "Man, I need 80 grand."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Fuck." And he goes, "Man, I need 80 grand. His old man goes, "Mate, you know what? If this is your chase your dream, take it."
Yeah.
He goes, "Mate, one of the biggest satisfactions for me was when I could pay that money back." So I went back one afternoon, took a bottle of his favourite drink and said, "Mate, there's 80 grand. Thanks for coming."
Wow, that's special.
I reckon that's that for me, and probably something that you would do as well. Like that is so similar. You're not a greedy person, so I couldn't see you.
I didn't take anything. So I made sure when I did this, it was my own money and it was going to be my own mistake. And that's why I think it worked because I'm like, this is all I've got. So if this doesn't work, I've got fucking nothing.
Because you were living in a little one better, I think.
Mate, I lived in a 1-bedroom studio, and driving a bomb around just to make it work. And yeah, very, very, very lucky to. I only started paying myself in the last year. Like people think I was making big bucks. I feel like a millionaire.
Yeah, because everything you were making, you were putting back into the business.
Yeah, exactly. And like everyone understands, like as a gym owner, like it's the hardest industry to crack into and make work. And
is it just you as the gym owner now?
Me and Corey Hargrave.
Of course.
He's a fantastic S&C coach. So it's me and him now. And we're just two blokes, two kids that went to school together that's having a crack.
And just the last 3. So we always finish with the humble 3.
Yep, go.
Which is which is just a big part. And now we're looking for sponsorship out there as well. So feel free to continue to sponsor.
Jump on.
For anyone that wants to
the
sponsor.
Humble Climb,
you're
get around
more than welcome to sponsor the Humble 3. This is a big one. If you weren't in the current occupation, being director, owner, gym owner of Pulsate, what business would you be in?
Very interesting. I've got lots of, I'm not just saying this because you're here with me, a lot of interest in real estate. I really love that. Because I'm surrounded by like blokes like you and like, you know, Weller and you know, all the boys in Bentley, Buxton and all that. I see that what they do. I really do love real estate. But then again, I do love teaching. So I'd probably go into teaching also.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, look, money's
people. I don't care about, you know.
Money's not a problem with that one as well. So you can probably do both.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Fantastic.
It's always good. It's always good to ask.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved little Dave's episode, the one previous to this, and he goes, and I said to him, "Oh mate, so obviously with everything that's happened, would you go through the mental health route?" And he goes, "Probably should say that, but really, I want to do a golf course." I was like, mate, you know what? That's awesome. And I said to Sal, and again, you would have already seen this episode. I said to Sal, his mum, I said, "So what do you want to do?" And she goes, "I'd probably work for him."
Living the dream.
That's awesome, mate. One of the biggest ones, actually, like who inspires Josh? I mean, it might be a mixture of family, but is there anyone outside of family? Because the stereotypical response is always mum, my dad, this and that. But is there anyone outside of family that particularly inspires you to make Josh Holdsworth who he is today?
Yeah. I know this might sound really, really stupid for people who don't watch UFC, but Conor McGregor was actually my guy who. So this bloke here was like poor, living at home, and he dropped his job to follow his dreams. And this is before he made money. He's a changed man now, I know, but he went into the UFC and dropped everything. And his parents said, "Don't do it." And he said, "I want to do this. I can do it." And he became the champ, the double champ. Boxed Floyd Mayweather, and his attitude was belief, and that he could do anything. And that's why that's when I started Pulsate. So I was watching him knock out people, and his self-talk and self-belief was just so fucking special. That's what got me.
That is awesome. And that's exactly what that question's about. Look, for me, of course, we always go up the usual route, mum, dad, whatever it might be. But it's awesome to hear that, in all honesty. So it's really, really refreshing. The last one, which I absolutely love, and it's a question that which I've done a fair bit of research into. If you could own a billboard, what would it say and why?
Oh, as in for myself, a Pulsate? Or?
Probably more, well, not so much an advertising of a Pulsate, but if you want to get a message out to people, or you just own any billboard. You might do a sponsor billboard between Buxton and Pulsate. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you could own a billboard realistically, what would it say and why? But mind you, it's in a high traffic area. So a lot of people are going to see this billboard.
Be a good fucking person.
Yeah, I love that. It's almost.
Because my God, there's too many takers out there these days. And I see it all the time, you know?
That is
Gotta
almost.
Give. I think we need to start being givers, not in the bedroom I'm talking about either.
Yeah.
But just being good people, because I don't know, ever since COVID and everything like that, I think everyone's just take and it's just.
I love that. One of the biggest things actually, and you probably would have seen this episode beforehand anyway, because I know that when it comes out, you would have watched it anyway.
All over it, boys.
But one of the biggest thing as well, that I'm going to get involved in, and I reckon that's something that you'd probably put your hand up for because you're that type of person. Robert McCarthy's the Run for Rob that they're organising.
Yep, awesome.
Last year they raised 33K.
Yep.
And they're going to do a big day out at Caulfield Park.
Awesome.
I reckon we get behind it.
Mate, me and you were in there, mate.
I reckon we get there. So I'm thinking, and I spoke to Dave and Sal off camera about it, but it's in November, so it's just a little while away.
Plenty of time, boys.
But I reckon realistically, I'm gonna get. We've already donated $1,000 towards it.
Yep, great.
But I reckon that we get a big couple of spits going on.
Yep.
But I reckon I get you down there as well with me, Pulsate sponsored.
Yep.
And you're just revving the boys on as they're running laps.
Mate, I'm in. I cannot wait for it.
I reckon that's a big one.
Yeah, that's us. Pencil that in.
So, Dave, I know you're watching. Sal, you're probably watching as well. You've just got yourself another sponsor on board. This is going to be a big day.
Out.
It's going to be.
Prepare for the energy.
And you know what the best part is? It's got nothing to do with business. It's got nothing to do with Buxton and Pulsate. It's purely about giving back to the community.
Correct. That's what it's all about.
We will get as much fucking money raised for Robbie McCarthy's run as possible, and we'll just smash it through the roof.
Love it, mate.
We've just got ourselves another sponsor.
Bloody special.
Braden? Yeah, he's pretty happy. We'll get Roller Media down there as well.
Oh, yes.
Joss Man
I want to
Holdsworth.
speak about this too, this Rolling Media. This is
awesome,
unbelievable. So I just smashed out a weight session, had a coffee.
You can tell.
And thank you very much. And this van rolls in. Open the van. This is the best podcast that I've ever seen, and they come to your front doorstep.
And you don't even have to say. You can't say no.
Oh, mate, the chairs are comfortable.
Yeah, it's nice.
The service is brilliant. I'm checking out Dimmy. Guys, get down, jump on Humble Climb. It is unbelievable. And Rolling Media.
You're an absolute weapon. You've just send me the paperwork so I can sign up as a. Actually, I don't even have to. I can just
download the app.
You know the best thing is I'll download the app.
And
you know what? I'm not doing the 7-day trial because you know what? I'm in.
Yeah, bang.
I'm all in, and it's all about giving back. Josh Man Holdsworth, incoming dad to be,
Dimmy,
dog owner, and one of the absolute best humans to literally grace Melbourne. He's an absolute star. I genuinely can't thank you enough. You've got an incredible story of putting your balls on the line.
Thank you.
And when you're working with friends, I know how difficult it can be to go out and do your own thing. So I can't thank you enough, mate, for coming on board. I know you'll share the shit out of this one for me.
Look out.
Because you've got a massive community.
Oh, yeah.
And a massive dog. And, mate, I just want to say a massive thank you for coming on. It's Sunday morning, and I know you've got better things to do, so I can't thank you enough, mate.
No way.
I'm waiting for the Humble Climb podcast hats to come.
Oh, I need to.
Oh, yeah.
What sort of style are we going for?
Oh, mate, so I've just gone, very, very kickback. So I didn't do any tracker stuff.
Yeah, no.
Nah, none of your tracker stuff. I didn't do the flex fit because I got a fat head. And it sort of cuts in my technical thing.
Beautiful head.
Yeah, thank you, man. I need a haircut. But so just your stock standard. It'll be like beach weather. You're ready to go. So I'll be They haven't arrived yet.
Get your hats.
I'll be bringing them in, mate. I know you'll be plugging them left, right, and centre. So I can't thank you enough for coming in, mate. You're a star. And I'm loving of what you're doing in the Pulsate community, and genuinely for me, you're a local hero. So,
well, I'm looking forward to our journey together at 4:30 a.m. Because tell you what, I'll be posting the shit out of this.
Tell you what.
So, guys, Humble Climb Podcast. Follow me and follow our journey together. It's going to be special.
What have I signed up for? You're a legend, mate. Thank you, mate. That's a wrap.
You're beauty.